and get the Instagram up on a Tuesday. Come on. Oh, yeah. Got the Instagram going up on a Tuesday. There we go. Wow. That is new. All right. Hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality Podcast. I know it's been a while. People been asking me. Fortunately, been having some incidents happen the last couple weeks to stop us from going. But guess what? We here today on a Tuesday at 8:30. Thank y'all for joining us again. We got some very special guests to join us today as we talk about building a safe place for yourself and building a safe place as a man. And what does that look like? And we're going to get into that today. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you join us in the comments. Please go to Dad Mentality on Facebook because I think my actually Rodney Glover has been having issues. But we want to hear your comments. We want to see what y'all got to say. Y'all know what it is. It's Dad Mentality.
What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show, shout out to the coach. And Maddie Ice Cold Crypto. And each one, teach one. That's mentality. We just try and reach one. What is that's mentality?
Hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality. We're glad to be here with y'all again. As y'all know, I don't do this by myself. I got my fellas joining me today. Y'all know this guy. We've been friends since we were 4 years old, playing in the sandbox. Now we do a podcast together. Vance Robs, aka Coach. What's going on, Coach?
What's good with you? How y'all doing today?
Man, doing good. Also, this guy, you know him as the diversified hustler. You know him as Wealthy and Blessed. You know him as the ice cream man. You know him as Art by Guapo's dad, even though he don't got nothing to do with his talent. But we still love this, my man, Matty Ice Cold Crypto. What's going on?
What's good, fellas, on this good Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday for sure. All right, fellas. So, when I came up with this topic of talking about, building a safe place for yourself, I definitely thought of these two guys and wanted to get them in here and join. Just so y'all know, this will be a two-part conversation. Next week, I have two beautiful ladies joining us who's going to talk about their building a safe place for women and building a safe place in relationships. So we're going to definitely talk about, but I want to start off talking about for the fellas. So I had to get this guy in. I consider him now a brother. He hails from the Jersey. Y'all know him. He used to be Who's Cooking with Chef Dennis. Now he's at the Battle to the Glory. And he is definitely one of our fan favorites. My man, Chef Dennis. What's going on, Chef? How you doing today, sir?
You know it. Highly blessed, man. Highly blessed. Highly favored and blessed, man.
Well, I definitely appreciate you joining us and coming in here and having a good time with us today. This next gentleman is definitely not a hidden person. He's always shown up and came in. And when I don't do a show on Monday, he definitely comes on Tuesday because I know he got to do his thing. But you can catch him every Thursday at 7:00, right? On his 7:30 on his podcast, where he talks about all kinds of subjects and great things that he's doing out there in the community. He hails from Roanoke, Virginia, and y'all know him as my man, LA Josh Preston. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's 7:00. I said 7:30 because you always talking junk about me doing this long montage before the show, but it's 7:00. But if you want to listen to my montage, it's 7:00.
All right, so he always does his little wrestling montage before he get ready to get into it. So we still waiting for those videos and see that. But also, you can definitely catch Chef Dennis. You would have caught him today before you came and watched my show today. We was on at 6:30 Tuesday and Wednesday. You can catch him and the very lovely Lady T as they talk about God and the things that God has done for them, and it's very much a faith-based show that you want to watch and get everything right and be in the right direction. It's something you gotta definitely check out. We're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my man Chow Bao, who's joining us today in the comments, and also the Real Funny. Maybe my comments are working, I'm not sure, but I'm glad that everybody is here and having a good time. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to do the thing that we do every week when we're on the show. We haven't done it in a couple weeks, which is our self-care check-in, because mental health is very important to us here at Dad Mentality. Hey, fellas, if y'all can put your score in from 0 to 10 and things you're looking forward to this week, you can definitely put it into the comments and we'll read and talk about it. But we're going to go ahead and start off with our week. I'm going to go ahead and let Matty Ice get us started while I try to figure out this stuff I got doing.
Well, I'm doing good today, man. Long weekend this weekend for me. Last week was a good week. Thought I was gonna get some rest this weekend, but I kind of knew I wasn't. Worked all weekend, man. Had a event on Saturday, man. But it was a good event, man. Went out. My cousin had a Father's Day, father and son basketball event. So I went out there, vended for that event, man, with the Matty Ice out there. Had a good day. Then man, went to a graduation party for a good friend of mine's son. He was having his graduation party. Went through there, hung out, had a nice time, man. Seen some friends I hadn't seen in a minute, but got it in, so didn't get no rest, but then had to get up early the next day on Sunday, on Father's Day, to take care of business as well. Another graduation / college send-off for family member, man, who's going down to the Florida Gators, man. She runs track, man, on a full scholarship, man. Miss Peyton Payne, man, out there doing her thing. So she's running track. So she got to get down there early. So they was having a graduation / prom send-off for her. Wife was doing some stuff, man, doing her balloon decoration. So it was helping out on Father's Day. So that was a long day as well. They had to get up, to get to work again on Monday. But I'm blessed to be able to do it, to be able to take care of the fam and take care of business this weekend. So I'm at about an 8, I'm feeling good. Just, a long week this week as well. So just a little tired, man. But other than that, I'm feeling good, feeling blessed, man. I had the strength and the ability to be able to take care of business, man. But I'm sitting at about a 8, other than just being, a little tired and want to sleep in a couple days and get some rest.
Hey, I'm glad to hear you up there, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's good news to be able to do all those things. What about you, Coach? Where you at?
Man, I think this week I'm probably still hanging around, a 7, 6.5, 7. Just been extremely busy, tired, mentally and physically, you know what I mean? So Father's Day was good, was reminded of, the value, my values to the family and so forth, they did me right. And I really just, trying to get, the mental rest and the physical rest at this point. You know what I'm saying? Closing out some big projects this year, this month. I mean, and you know what I mean, just trying to push through. So you know what I mean. It's not a bad week. You know what I'm saying? Birthday's coming up Thursday, so that's a good thing. Father's Day and birthday the same week, so you can't really go wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
just
Happy
working my way
birthday.
through. So that's about it. Yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
cool. Me myself, I'm gonna say right now, I'll say I'm a good 7.5. I'm excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow I get to go, and Father's Day I ain't really do too much. I was tired. I had to work, and then once I got off of work, I chilled and had a good time. Just coming home and taking a nap. That's what I did. My daughter cooked for me. I went and got me some rest, and then ended up watching the movie that I ain't gonna talk about it too much now. I'm sure we'll talk about it another point. But I watched that movie Stitch with I think it's called Straw. My bad, Straw
Yeah,
with
sure.
what you call it that Maddie Ice told me to watch. And I'll give a quick review. I mean, the movie by the end of the movie it was good. I think the acting was terrible in it. It really didn't keep my it didn't really keep my interest until the end, and then I was like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. And I understand what Tyler Perry was doing by putting her in that terrible wig, but I couldn't get past that terrible wig. That train was just
Who you
the
talking
worst.
about? What's her name?
Taraji P. Henson, whatever. That wig was just the worst. And I can understand she broke. She ain't gonna have a good wig, but Jesus, I couldn't take that. I couldn't take it that well. But anyway,
it was more. I told you to watch it for the mental health aspect.
Yeah, the mental health aspect was good. I mean, at the
Yeah.
end, I liked it, but like I said, it was just the acting was just a little bit whack for me. But otherwise, I got to watch that. But tomorrow, I get to go with my daughter to see SZA and Kendrick Lamar. So I'm excited about going to hang out with her and having a good time and going to see that. So I think by tomorrow when I'm hanging out with my daughter, I'll be up in the 10 range. So I'm excited and thank God I have that opportunity. So that's how I feel. That's where I am, and it's good. What about you, LA? Tell us about what you got going on from 0 to 10, brother.
Well, right now I am at a 9. I would be at a 10, but see, I'm on vacation, and I work from home. So I work from home 1 week, and I go to the office the week after. But unfortunately, this is my week that I'm working from home. I'm on vacation, so it's bad. If it was the other one, if I was at work, supposed to went to work and been on vacation, I probably would be at a 10. But I'm at a 9 right now. I'm on vacation. Had a great Father's Day. My kids actually bought me gifts, and it wasn't my wife that bought the gifts. Actually, my kids bought me gifts, so I'm happy about that. I just got a checkup today, and my blood pressure 127/70. So I'm trying my best to try to get taking this lisinopril, taking like 10 milligrams, and I'm trying to get off that because I really hate taking pills. So hopefully I can keep working with myself, I guess, and hopefully get off that. My wife is still treating this week like it's Father's Day. I just had some pork chop, broccoli, and macaroni and cheese, and it was delicious. So I am, like I said, I'm up there and stuff. So I'm feeling good. Yes.
Okay, all right. Was I the only person got LA messing up a little bit, or was that just me?
Yeah, go in and out.
Yeah, little in and out, but I'm sure you get it fixed because you do your own podcast, but I don't know if you got like a bunch of stuff up in the background or something. But yeah, it always runs smooth when you're the host, and then when you go on somebody else's, sometimes it messes up. But anyway, we're gonna get to my man Chef Dennis and tell us where you are from 0 to 10 and how you feeling, brother.
I'm at a 10, man. I'm at a 10. I'm at a 10 because the weekend was great. Just being around a bunch of other brothers. I was on a breakfast brunch with brothers on Saturday. I was with a men's gathering on Monday, yesterday. It was just a great joy just to be around other men, just striving to live for God, just trying to do the best they can, and just being vulnerable with one another, just opening up, talking. And that's why I'm here too, just creating a space where we could gather and just be vulnerable one another, but in truth and in love, you know what I'm saying, and not having a judgment eye, not looking at each other saying, well, you shouldn't do this. We just encouraging one another. And so that's the reason why I'm on 10. And as well as I had some friends that came up, just been spending time with them, just bringing back memories of how we've grown and how we were when we were kids and how we are now, and men that's married with children. It was just so much excitement. This is being around other people that's just gonna love on you, even in the midst of your tough times. And that's why I'm at a 10. Just being around the right people. It brings so much joy and happiness to me. Just being around whether it be men, women, it doesn't make a difference. Just that love, that joy, that happiness, that it just, what I mean? It's just so much, I could sit here and talk about, but I just, that's why I'm at where I'm at. I'm 10. Just being around those people and just talking and laughing, especially about reminiscing about memories, man. It's just, it's beautiful, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Chow Bao said he had a 10 himself, had a great show in Tennessee, got booked for more shows while he was there. He also had a great Father's Day and is looking forward to the Real Funny Show, this Saturday that he'll be hosting. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Man, Chow Bao. So, the Real Funny Show, I'm assuming LA, you can give us more info about what's the Real Funny Show since you brought it up on Saturday. And you muted. All these rookie mistakes. You would think you didn't have a podcast. Man. Hey, Chow Bao, get your man. Get your man, Chow.
How about now?
You here? Go ahead. We listening.
You can hear me? I'm just want to make sure, But the Real Funny, is I produce the Real Funny Comedy Show, and what it is that I do shows every Saturday at the Coffee Pot here in Roanoke, Virginia, on Brambleton Avenue, and also do an open mic on the last Tuesday of the month at a place called Spot on Kirk, and I also do open mic on Saturday at Ursula's Cafe. And the Real Funny is just my brand of comedy shows. So anytime I go out and do shows outside of Roanoke, Virginia, I always put it's a Real Funny comedy show. So that's what that is.
Okay.
There we go. Sounds like a winner to me. All right. So, fellas, I'm glad we all joined today. So this week, I'm going to go ahead and get it started and kind of explain to y'all what has been on my mind. Because even watching the show Straw and just things like that, I kind of the new key word, when we talk about mental health coming into our culture. And when I say culture, I mean not just as Black men, I mean as men in general. Mental health is something that I feel is still new, something that I feel that we're still learning and processing. A lot of us in our past, mental health was not something that was important to us or our parents and things like that, explaining that to them. But the new thing, the big thing is creating a safe place. And what is creating a safe place for yourself? What does that safe place look like? And, so I'm going to start with the safe place for me, creating a safe place for myself, because I had to learn what that was. I had to learn to create that place. Back in the day, that safe place was on the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I get on the Xbox with my boys and we'll get on there and chat it up, talk about life, talk about positive things. That's actually how this podcast kind of came to light. And talking about just helping each other through the things that we were going together with. Unfortunately, on the Xbox, it was a lot of judgment. But, it was all in fun and games. But what is a safe place? What is your safe place to you? Now, my safe place is the podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my safe places. Unfortunately, I built a lot of safe places for myself now, places that I can go and have conversations. And I'm not afraid of having those conversations. I think that us as men, we have an issue with having those real conversations about ourselves, about our feelings, and stuff like that to other people. Now, I still feel like you can't share everything with everybody, but I do feel that it is important to create a safe place for yourself or for someone else. So my safe place is this podcast. My safe place is also, just I've built a safe place in my relationship with my wife. I built a safe place in a relationship with my family, my brothers, and things like that. So, but this podcast to me is definitely one of those places where I hope that I built that for everyone that comes on here, that we can come on here and have these conversations and be real and not sit here and have to worry about the judgment or worry about somebody taking what was said and used against you as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? To me, I feel that's some of the most unsafe places you can be, is when people take how you feel and try to use it and weaponize it against you yourself. I feel that one of the part about being in a safe place or being in a place yourself mentally where you are safe is that when you release these things, these concerns and stuff like that, it gives you power in not having them, that people can use it against you. Somebody can't talk about something that I do that I talk about myself. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel that is something that I've been working on and trying to get better. But my question to y'all, and we'll go around, is what does a safe place look like to you? And we'll start with Chef Dennis.
Just for me, a safe place for me is just being around other believers, and then and just encouraging other people that's not believers, is to have a conversation with us, and we can indulge in those type of conversations, whether it's relationship, marriage, divorce, job, all those type of things, and so I always try to look for those type of environments that I can partake in. If not partake in, just looking and searching for that atmosphere, because I'm able to be vulnerable and let them know my truth, my walk, my journey, and just being accountable of the things that I do, what I'm saying, and my walk. And so I try to be a light for others, and so I always look for that type of environment, what I'm saying, not to be judging or anything. It's just always just trying to be encouraging and uplift their spirits. What I'm saying, I'm big on smiles. Smiles is something that most men don't do. It's like they gotta have this madman face. Nah, get out of here with all that. That's just me. Yeah, I always try to tell the brothers when I get together, I say, yo, smile. Because guess what? If you got kids, if you got a wife, you got a family and responsibility, listen, they look at you. So when they see you smiling, it's like it's contagious. They start smiling. But Dad, look at Dad. My dad over here smiling. What you smiling about, Dad or Mom? And then they want to smile. They want to be a part of what your joy. You know what I'm saying? Your happiness. Why you smiling, Mom? Why you smiling, Dad? And so that's what I try to do. And I try to create that type of atmosphere always where I'm at. Even in the midst of my struggles, or when I'm, sad about something. I really don't get sad too much, but I try not to. You know what I mean? Because I want to seem like this perfect old person. But I try not to be in that type of, that realm of being sad or complaining. I don't complain. I just go through it. I said, look, if it's meant for me to go through, it's meant for me for a purpose. And so those are the environments that I try to create and tell other men to be encouraging to them as well. So, that's what a safe place look like for me. Everybody's different. Everybody don't have the ability to just be open to people and just tell them. I don't tell everything. Like Rodney said, I don't tell everything. It's things that I'm led to tell the individual. As I have a conversation with them, I'm able to, talk with them based on the conversation that we have, the dialect of the conversation and where it goes from there. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be able to talk to people on different levels. Not just because I'm here and I'm a believer and live and try to live righteous that I'm better than a person. No, I come down to where they at, have a conversation, and then we'll take off from there. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I do, and try to create those environments.
Okay. What about you, LA?
My safe space is always the comedy show. I always, even if I'm not in the best of moods, I can always go to a comedy show and listen to people laughing, having everybody smiling, having them laugh makes me laugh. It's just like when Chef Dennis was talking about Contagious, which is with if you're smiling, your kids are smiling. Same thing here with the comedy shows. You see them smiling, now you start smiling, and everything that you're going through, it doesn't seem as much. You can handle it more because I always think, there's someone out there that got it worse than me. So the comedy shows, seeing people laugh is my safe space. And also like you, Beast, with the podcast. The podcast for me is also my safe space because I can feel like if there's something on my mind, I can just go out and I can say it because it's very hard. Keeping stuff inside is not going to help with your mental at all. You gotta go out there and you gotta say, hey, this is how I feel. That's why the podcast for me is I gotta say, that's why I say it in the beginning, say it with my chest, because there's some things that I gotta just say out there, and whether they agree with me or not, I don't care. This is how I feel. Me doing that gets my mental better mental, you know what I'm saying? So I feel a whole lot better and stuff. And also my man cave is also my safe place here that way, because no one comes and bothers me, because sometimes you need that space to yourself, think and go over what needs to be done in the future, what's done in the past, if you made some mistakes, how you can correct it. So sometimes you need space being alone as well to help you out with your mental. So those are 3 safe spaces for me.
All right. What about you? Chow Bao said, don't forget about those 3 business days. Go ahead and tell them what that is.
Well, in the beginning, when I was young, if something happened to me, I got to handle it right then and there. If it's something to me, I'm coming back with you, insults. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do some things. Thanks to my wife, I have learned that some of this stuff isn't worth it. Sometimes if you just give it, I say 3 business days. In terms a lot. So I say, give it 3 business days and see how you feel then. And most of the time it's like, man, I could have went to jail for this, or I could have got in big trouble for this, and it wasn't even worth it. So that's why I always give myself 3 business days before I actually say something I want to say. That's why with my podcast is usually once a week, because usually 3 business days is already up. As you can see, what you would Beast know about Freaky Friday and what Althea did. And it's been 3 business days. Well, it's been 2 business days. Tomorrow will be the 3rd business day. And I'm probably going to feel the same way on the 3rd business day that on Thursday, because that was some BS.
Heard, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, we'll I can't wait. Thursday, I think I'm working Thursday. Yeah, I got to close Thursday, so I'll have to just be in the comments. But I would love to join you when you talk about that. So, but anyway, Coach, how are you feeling with? What is your safe place, and you know, what do you do what do you do when you need to go there? You're muted, Coach.
My safe place is definitely biking. It's the only time. Like, I'm not one of the type of folks that I don't share my stuff with groups. Just who I am. Like, I may share one-on-one with a friend individually because I need that person's perspective and I need that person's undivided attention. So I'm not gonna be. I won't be in a safe place amongst multiples. It'll either be individual, me by myself, or one-on-one with somebody I truly trust. You know what I mean? So, and that's just the environment that I operate best in, because just how I was raised. You know what I mean? Don't wear much on my shoulder. Don't show much emotion outside of my immediate family. You know what I mean? So, my safe place is really, really solo on my bike or individualized with certain people. No.
Okay. All right. What about you, Matty Ice?
I'm gonna say my home is definitely my safe place, man. You know what I mean? When it come to, you know, like being vulnerable, like how we always talk about, that's still, you know what I mean, a work in progress for me. But, you know, the only person I truly feel like I can be vulnerable with and not be judged is my wife and my kids. You know what I mean? We definitely got a great unit and team around here, as we call ourselves. You know what I mean? So we always showing love and uplifting and encouraging one another, no matter, you know what I mean, what we going through or what's happening. You know what I mean? Truly, no judgment or unconditional. You know what I mean? So home is always, but then my other safe places, like again, like with coaches, when I'm by myself, like when I'm going on my walk, that's like out walking and outside, I could truly you know, get my thoughts together and and think and you know what I mean, and clear my mind, you know what I mean. So walking and being outside is truly my safe place. That's when I'm usually at my best, when I'm on my walking routine, going for my daily walks, getting outside. That's when I feel best, because I'm the kind of the same way. You know what I mean? I chop it up and talk, you know what I mean, to the fellas, but like as far as you know what I mean, kind of going in deep about what's going on in your life. Like I'm not that type of person like that. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody want to hear about your stresses or whatever, even though it's good to get it out, you know what I mean? But I try to stay on the, you know what I mean, the positive end. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know what I mean, I feel like when you talk about things, you bring more fuel to them sometimes, like, but sometimes some things you do need to get off your chest. But those things that you do need to get off your chest, you know what I mean, I feel like I can, you know what I mean, bring them to my wife. But then some things that I'm dealing with, you know what I mean, I don't want to bring that stress on to her. You know what I mean? You like, so you know what I mean? So sometimes as men, we do carry a lot, you know what I mean, but we definitely do need that outlet, you know what I mean? And again, you got to find it. So like Coach, he said, that's out on his bike, you know what I mean? Somebody, you know what I mean, LA, you know what I mean, he gets it out through comedy. Other people gets it out, you know what I mean, through the word or whatever, you know what I mean? So you do definitely have to find that outlet for it, where you can get it out and find your safe place. But mine was, you know what I mean, is when I'm at home or when I'm out on a walk by myself.
Okay. Now I heard everybody talk about this safe place, and this is what I wanted to bring up, because us as men, I mean, we pretty much say the same thing. You know, we figure it out amongst ourselves, or we figure it out. We have dedicated people that we can talk to, or you know, we pray and we figure it out ourselves. And my thing is that, you know, and this is why I'm going to have the women next week, because to me, and this is outside looking in, is that a male trait that we feel that 9 times out of 10 we have to handle it ourselves and not go to a community, not have, because in my opinion, most women and most females, when they go through something, it's a friend quorum meeting, you know what I'm saying? Where there's, you know, 5 or 6 of them, they get a bottle of champagne, whatever, and next we will talk about it. But do you feel that is that something that we're just taught, or that we are taught to keep our feelings to ourselves? Do you feel that that is just, or is that the better way to protect yourself as a man? Like, why is it that way? Why is it that we feel that we can't just have an open, honest conversation with anyone about how we're feeling? Why is that an issue? I mean,
we different beings, you know what I mean? So
upbringing.
Yeah, it's now I'm saying it's upbringing. I do believe that, but just in general, men, you know what I mean, we are different than women. You know what I mean? Like,
we supposed to be the dominant trait. So with the dominant trait, the
man of the household, you know what I mean? So you sometimes you're gonna take the brunt, you're gonna shield, you know what I mean? So you don't bring everything like that, you know what I mean? We just different, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think if we was the same as a woman, we wouldn't be men. So I think I don't want to put it that plainly as simple, but we not the same.
Chef Dennis?
Well, I was going to say the upbringing is big. The reason why is because just think about this, man. If you didn't have a father figure in your life that communicated with you, how you going to be able to communicate with other men? That's not your father. That's not your brother. So communication starts with home. So if you didn't have that, you don't know how to communicate with other men that's not family related. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a big part on the generation now that's growing up versus the men that are older that didn't have that. And if they did have it, it was a toxic relationship with having both parents in the house. Because from me growing up, I grew up with both of my parents, and they separated when I was young, and then it was a mess. But at the end of the day, I still had both of my parents. So, just growing up with two parents in the home versus one is different. And so you going to see the toxicity if your mom's is frustrated, if your mom's is doing everything her best, and she got 4 kids that she got to feed by herself. And so you see the frustration. And now you don't learn how to communicate with other men because your mom's is frustrated. And now you see that she working hard, she busting her butt. And so now you like, yo, as a man, you like, man, freak my dad. You mean tell me you don't hear that a lot with the young kids saying, man, freak my dad. I don't know my dad. So look at the mentality they have already. They already have this perception. I don't care about my dad. So now they grow up and they have that mentality. They have that attitude. I don't have a dad. I don't need no dad. I could do it my way. And so, that's why we don't have a lot of that. The outlet, you look jealousy. Oh, you look better than me. You got more money than me. So you think you better than me? That's the first thing that some men have, that mentality. Like, oh, you think you better than me because you got this? All right. Did you ask me how did I get this? And so we don't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Not just me. I'm just saying in general. Let's look. That's why we can't have that. Women, they don't even know each other. And so they, like you said, Rodney, they get together. They don't even know them. They be like, oh, they start talking. They grab a glass of wine and they start talking. They start getting real feminine. We not feminine, but guess what? We still could. That's what we want to do. That's what we talking about. Creating those atmospheres that we can bond. But guess what? Now that we sit and we talking, the reflection is on us. And so we have to learn how to love ourselves first, completely. Love ourselves completely. And when you love yourself completely, you'll be able to know how to love. And watch this. This was something that was just said at the men's fellowship I did on Saturday. I'm gonna go say me. I can love a man and still be a man. Y'all heard me?
Yeah.
And Rodney know me, but I'm saying this, I can love a man and still be a man. And doesn't mean that I like men. No, I'm gonna show you that I really love you. Like, I'm gonna go, if you're gonna cry, we gonna cry together. And I'm not soft. You understand what I'm saying? And most men can't accept that. Some can, some can't. And that's where you gotta be. Listen, that's being vulnerable. I want you to be able to trust me. Listen. Trust is something that you got to earn. And so I'm showing you that, listen, I want you to trust me. If you're going through something, let's talk about it. Let's cry together. Let's laugh together. We can easily laugh together, but how many men could cry together? And that's not your brother. That's not your son. That's tough.
I agree with you on that. My opinion, David Green says, my opinion is pride. We are not telling our weakness to other men for them to use it against us. But here's my thing about that. If you and I'm just gonna, because I kind of got into that earlier, that being at one with your weakness can be a strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I have abandonment issues. Finding that out and realizing that gave me strength. Nobody can now use that against me. You know what I'm saying? Because I am aware of it. Like, somebody can try to use it against me, but they're not, because I'm aware of it. I'm talking about it freely. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that me talking about it can help somebody else. LA, I saw you was nodding your head. Did you have something you want to say about what was said by Chef Dennis or anything else?
I was just gonna say about I think we feel this way because we're supposed to be the providers and the protectors of women, and if we are sitting there crying and acting all, as people say, feminine, or I say beta, acting all like a beta male and stuff, we feel like we're not doing our job, when in actuality, is you got to teach men that it's okay to cry. As a matter of fact, when you see a man crying, that's the man that you don't want to mess with. How many times have you messed with people and then all of a sudden they get all mad and they start crying and tearing up and all of a sudden they're on you like a daggone animal. So in my opinion, it's to me, it's okay to cry. You know, I always make fun about the beta thing and all that, but you got to get that stuff out of there. That's why I have learned over the years that keeping stuff in, it's not good. Let it all out. If you got to cry, you just got to cry and stuff. But you got to feel deep inside of yourself that, hey, you are a protector. You protect your family, your friends, and everything, and everyone who you want to protect. So even if you're vulnerable, if you got feelings and stuff, we all have feelings. I'm tired of people telling me to suck it up, or you're a man, you're not supposed to be that. No, I am supposed to be that. And it's been hard for me, especially as a father, because my father was like real tough, and there was no I love yous, there were no hugs and stuff. And I thought to myself, yo, I'm not doing that with my son. I'm gonna hug my son. I'm gonna say that I love you. I'm gonna tell him, hey, and things like that. And now he see how just happy he is. And unlike me getting all angry because I needed a hug sometimes, or I needed to have someone tell me, hey man, I love you. And that's why I'm just spreading it. Hopefully, as we get older in generations, that we can stop this beta male, alpha male type thing. Even though I do it as a joke, we can stop doing that and just say, hey, man, we're men. We have feelings. Hey, man, like Chef Jeff said, hey, man, I love you, brother. I just want you to know that I love you. It don't have to be anything sexual. Stop all with that too. It's not sexual when you love someone. You just care for that person. Period.
Yeah, I think that. To me, I think that part of it has changed a little bit. Definitely amongst my circle, man. Like I got good brothers, man. Like who some of the realest you ever want to meet. But like we'd say, hey, what's good, brother? Holler at you, man. I love you, bro. I'm proud of you. Like we definitely don't look at me saying I love you as anything like that. You already know the character of who you dealing with. Like one of my good men called me the other day, right before Father's Day, was just like we hadn't talked for a minute. He just called to say, man, I love you, Slim. I ain't talked to you in a minute. Want to let you know X, Y, and Z. And my circle, we don't have that. We we can talk, and you got certain people who who you do have that relationship with. Like my circle isn't that big, but the circle who I do have of people who I can talk to and say that with, I say it to, but as men, you still gonna protect your circle and protect your family and not, be vulnerable just to be vulnerable. We don't just gossip, because you were saying like how women do, that's in their nature, but then at the same time, women, they got their other ways too, that men don't do. They can be real catty, real gossipy after they hear about the, what's going on in her life. To me, if somebody say something to me, it don't go past me. And that's how the type of dudes who I deal with, and I'm trust. If I say it to you, I don't expect it to go no further than you. You know what I'm saying? So it's having that trust with certain men or brothers who you call brothers. I don't, if those who know, people who you can pick up the phone, call at any time, and different things like that. So it just depends on yourself. And then again, it's no box. Everybody is different. The way somebody else deal with something, you deal with it that way. I may deal with it a different way. That don't mean the way I deal with it, the way you deal with it is wrong, but we all got different personalities. Just the way somebody learns differently, people express their feelings differently. So you can't box people in, but as long as it's healthy, is the key. But you may deal with it differently. The way you express yourself may be different.
Hey, Matty, I just want to add, and I know Coach got to get in, join it. I just want to add, and I want to share something with y'all, because when Matty said something, it touched me. And why I say it touched me, because I want to share this with y'all. You know what? As I got older, right, I really didn't really talk to my father a lot. Like I got a great relationship with my father, right? I'm talking about excellent. But I got to the point in my life where I was able to express myself to my dad, even when the things that he did wrong, right, I felt like was wrong. I expressed it to him. I said, Dad, like when he used to beat me, I said, Dad, you look, I didn't laugh about it. I said, look, I'm older now, I'm grown. I said, listen, when you chastise me, you abuse me. I told him, man to man, right? That's how I got to the point where I'm at right now, being able to talk to him and express to him. But then also I said, Dad, you never really said you proud of me. You know what I'm saying? I told him that. I was like, oh, you never said you're proud of me. Like, I'm doing all these great things, and you never said that. Like, I love you. I love you. I always put my father on the pedestal more than my mother. Most men, I don't know, no men that really do that. I did. I put my father on the pedestal. And so now that I'm older and I'm grown, I got my own family, I said, Dad, you never said you're proud of me. You don't say you love me. Now he do. And now he says he's proud of me. And I want to say that to you guys, that's how we got to do. We got to, when something really bothering you on the inside, you got to be able to tell that person how you feel, no matter how it may sound. It may sound weak, it may sound soft, but if it's bothering you on the inside and it's somebody close to you, you got to be able to express that and tell them, listen, I got to tell you this. This is how I felt. Like I'm doing all this and you don't say nothing, and we got to get to that place. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say that because that hit a nerve, because I had to tell my dad that. You know what I'm saying? I love my father. I had to tell him that. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry, Coach.
Coach?
Nah, man, I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, you definitely gotta let it out in whatever fashion allows that you need that release, right? So if it's crying, if it's talking about it, if it's, you know what I'm saying, just thinking through it, you know what I'm saying, and all of that, you gotta have some form of release for what you're dealing with mentally. As far as vulnerability, I mean, I think that's, you know what I'm saying, up to the individual. Some people are gonna be more vulnerable than others, right? You know what I'm saying? Some men are gonna be more vulnerable than others. Some men need to be vulnerable, some don't. Right. Some just need to talk about it, like just get it out. Some can say it via words, some can think through it, and then some got cried out. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta find what helps you relieve and resets your mind to where you can move forward and continue being who you are. So that's really my thought on the whole thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I personally feel that me myself now, I've come, because it was a point in time that I didn't talk to nobody about nothing. Like anything that I was going through, I kept it close to my vest. I was always afraid of somebody taking that and using it against me. You know what I'm saying? And now in my adulthood, now I'm not afraid. Now I actually express my stories to anybody who's going through something similar, to let them know that, hey, you know, there is another pathway. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point in time, my only answer to anything was alcohol. At one point in time, my only answer to anything was anger. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a lot of time to learn that, even with my oldest son, that like the way I disciplined him and the way I discipline my son now are two totally, I'm not even the same father. You know, I had my first son when I was 22. My response to him, you know, was to smack his hand at everything he did, to, you know, to discipline him with just physical discipline, spanking, stuff like that. You know, and I later on learned, even through my daughter, that physical spankings do not work with her. You know what I'm saying? And then my son now, you know, I don't have to spank him. He can understand me. Just he don't like it. If I'm upset, he does not like it at all. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to do whatever it takes to remedy that situation, no matter what. So you know, it's just, I think. But now, going back to what I was saying, but now I have no problem sharing what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem sharing it with a friend or a stranger on the street. Now it's to limits, of course, But if somebody else is telling me they're going through something and I have a similar situation, I got no problem sharing that with them. So I definitely do that. I guess that's growth and mature, but I'm not afraid of people using stuff against me anymore. And to me, that was power. You know what I'm saying? That was something that made it so that now, when I tell a story or something like that, and somebody comes in later and has a joke about it, like somebody calling me a beta male all the time, I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to sit there and start, defending myself because of the point that they pointed out that something I did may not be up to their standards. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a shot at Josh. Josh has that beta male thing, but I take it as a joke. It is what it is. Like even my friends, if you talking to a friend, if you can't joke with each other and you can't make fun of that, not make fun of the situation, but bring it up in a realistic thing, then who can you do that with? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not always the most sensitive person. Like I'll shoot a shot at anybody. You can get a stray any day of the week with me.
Yeah, I know. You do it to me all the time.
Yeah, hey, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I promise you're not.
I know.
LA Josh Preston, we've met for a short time, and he know I'll shoot a shot at it out at any given time. So, and Matty Ice is the same way. Vance knows the same thing too, but our friendship is way beyond that. And I mean, but but none of my shots are meant in what's the word I'm looking for? It's not really meant to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Now I may bring light of something that needs to be brought up, but it's still in love. It's still to help. It's in the long-term goal is to help someone. And even for me, I have to be open for that same thing. And I think as men, we take a lot of stuff more personal than it should be. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that we don't like it's something that we, I guess, hold to ourselves as something that is I guess what's the word? Being vulnerable. Yeah. Being vulnerable. And my thing is this, that if you can't be vulnerable with your boys, you can't be vulnerable with your wife, you can't be these things, then who can you be vulnerable with? So, my next question to you fellas is that I do want to talk to y'all and get your little your what you call it. So all of us here are married in the room, and being vulnerable in your relationship, being safe in your relationship, what does that look like to you? What do you consider being safe in your relationship? And believe me, I'll go first. So I'm gonna go first so I can get it out there. Nobody feels I'm picking on anything, because I definitely don't want that to happen. It took a long time for me to feel safe in my relationship. Me and my wife have been married 24 years. I would say in the beginning, I didn't tell my wife anything. Nothing about what I was going on. In her eyes, I made it seem like everything was great all the time. And when I was going through something, I went through it by myself. You know what I'm saying? I went through it hiding it from her. I went through it, pretending that everything was all right, till finally I got to a point I couldn't pretend no more. You know what I'm saying? And then, I want to say this. I feel that the worst thing that a woman can do, or somebody you're in a relationship can do, is take your vulnerability and use it against you. And unfortunately, I feel like in relationships that does happen a lot. A lot of times they take those things and they use them against you. And I'll be honest with you, I had that situation in my marriage. I've talked about my abandonment issues. I've talked about this. I've talked about that. And then there's been arguments when my wife has used that against me. And to me, the good thing is that when it did happen, I was conscious enough in my own self to look at her and say, yeah, you just made a mistake. I was like, now I say, because now when I shut off, now I'm shutting you off, because you're not creating a safe place for me. And then I had to break it down to her when I said, look, if I can't come to you with this stuff, then who can I come to? You know what I'm saying? You're my wife. I should be able to come to you with this stuff and not worry about that 2 months or 3 months or 6 months down the road that you're not going to take this conversation and use it against me. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's showing me that you're not ready. That's showing me that you're not in the same place that I am at, so I can't talk to you anyway. Because if you do that, then that's how I feel. And it took a lot of work. That was, now I do feel that we are in a much better place, and my wife does allow me and create a safe space for me. So I'm just curious to y'all, like, how important that is to you, or what do you feel about that? And you don't have to talk about anything personal if you don't want to, but if you do feel like you can. But what is that? What does that safe place in a relationship look like to you? So we'll go. I'll start with Matty Ice because his wife always says he's the greatest damn person on earth, anyway. Even though I don't believe that, But we'll start with Matty Ice. And what do you think about that?
Well, I'm gonna say I agree. You got to have a safe place in your household, and definitely with your wife, because your wife's supposed to be, your partner. So I'm gonna say with my wife, like, I definitely have that. Like, I may not always use it, but my wife has never, used anything that I've done or said, against me ever. Like, I'm truly blessed, to have a wife like I have, because I've grown, and she has grown with me, in some of the ways how I used to be, little, impatient, or different things like that. Always, tried to love her and did things, but just over the years, she had to learn how I was, and I've learned how she was. We've been together, since, like 20 something years, been married for 20 years, been together for, over 25. So it's like we know each other now. But I definitely have a safe place. I know I could tell her anything, she's always been there for me, through rough times, when I wasn't at my best, and and never judged, and did what she could, to make sure that I was okay. And she'll let me know, like, yeah, you're not yourself right now, and not judge me. So if, to me, I don't think I could deal with that. I think she was the perfect person for me because I know how I am, So if I didn't have her as my wife and partner, I'm not sure, who else I would could mesh with, because sometimes I can be a certain type of way, what I'm saying? And she knows that, and she knows how to deal with me. She knows how to talk to me, like, me and my wife, man, like, a lot of people don't believe it, but like, we've never like cussed each other out. I've never cussed my wife out. She's never cussed me out. We don't raise our voice at one another, man. We know how to deal with each other. We talk about what we need to talk about without ever, like, literally ever doing that. And all the time we've been together, you know what I'm saying? And so my wife is definitely my safe place, whether or not I use it all the time, as far as being vulnerable with her about everything, is just a choice, because that's, that's just part of my personality, and she knows that. But she knows when I'm thinking about something or what's going on, and I may not literally say it, but she knows it and knows how to, say things without me having to say it to make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed to have a partner like her. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows me probably better than myself sometimes.
Okay. All right. No, I believe it because oh is great, but you know, I don't know.
Yes,
I
he
think
is.
that's more her than you, but we're gonna go ahead and keep
Hey,
that
I
moving.
take it. I take it. That's why they call
Coach,
it your better. That's why they call it your better half, right?
yeah, 100%. Coach, you're muted.
I think my wife creates a safe place. I mean, I think oftentimes, I think I know I don't utilize it in a manner of which I should. You know what I mean? So I think that's on me. Uh, a lot of time, I'm the type of person that, dog, like I don't try and put my burdens on nobody, not even my wife. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, and
same.
that's literally just who I am. And I think oftentimes that probably frustrates her that I do that. You know what I mean? Because her expectation is, you know what I'm saying, more of, oh, the we can fix it, and I need to be more vulnerable with her on that. So, but I just my personality just doesn't put burden on anybody else, especially my burden. My parents never did it. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of what I learned. Um, so, and I think that's something that I got to work on just as a husband. So, but this, I think the safe place is there. I've never had an issue where she's like, I've told her something and been vulnerable on it, and she's like thrown it back in my face. I mean, she may make a judgment on it of what I tell her, but it's nothing that's, you know what I'm saying, that would take me out of that place. But it would be more that I know that she already got enough on her own plate that she don't need my stuff on the plate. Like I'm willing to help her with her stuff, but I'm not willing to burden her with my stuff, if that makes sense. And
It,
that's where
it
I got,
makes sense, and
that's where I
yeah,
got to get better at.
and I believe a lot of men do that. But you know, I also believe that we have to, you know, like I said, I want to make sure that I have that safe place with my wife because if I can't break down at my weakest moment because you know there's always some point in your life where you're going to have your weakest moment. If you can't break down with her, then who the hell can I do it with? You know what I'm saying? La, how you feel, brother?
I
What do you
agree,
think?
especially with you beats when you said they'll use it against you because in the beginning I used to tell my wife things. And as soon as we have an argument, oh, see, that's why this happened to you. Or see, that's why this. And I was like, you know what? I got to stop doing that. I'm going to stop because it's going to come back to me. And then you can't go to your boys and then talk about it because we're back to that. Oh, you're soft or suck it up and things like that. So who can you go to? And with me, I'm gonna be honest, it was another woman that I had to go to and talk about my situation and things like that. And that other woman actually helped me out with my situation and stuff. Because then my wife knows about her. Then all of a sudden, my wife thinks, "Well, how come you can't talk to me, but you can talk to her?" And then I had to explain. I keep bringing this. I bring it up, and here you come with it. When at least when I tell her, she has opinions. She understands. She's a woman as well, and she can maybe understand. Like especially if my wife are getting into an argument or getting into it for something, she can understand and tell me, "Hey, this might be what's going on." And she was like real honest with me. She could be honest with me, like, "Yo, you're messing up," or "She's messing up." So that helped me with my wife relationship. How crazy it sounds, but then when my wife knew about it, and she's like, "Well, you need to talk to me. Why are you talking to her?" You know, that I don't know if it was jealous or whatever. But I said, and I explained to my wife, "Yo, this is why I don't do it." Now she realizes it, and now we're better and stuff. Now back then, I should have just went to therapy. That was the main thing. That's what. But you know, with men, you know, especially black men, you know, we don't need therapy. We don't need to do all that stuff, blah blah. That's soft. But that's why I should have went to instead of going to another woman. And then that kind of strayed our marriage. But then after everything, after my wife actually realized why I was doing it and what she was doing, then finally we were able to talk it out and stuff like that. And that's what we do now. And it's been great. It's been a great.
Yeah,
I've
but then
been
eventually your wife created that safe space for you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? The problem was she wasn't creating that safe space for you in the beginning because she would bring it back up. But then when you went to the other woman and then she saw that you need that safe space, that, you know, in order for this to happen, you have to have it. I mean, let's be honest. you have to have that safe space with your wife in order for it to happen, because you're not gonna express to anybody who's gonna use it against you in an argument, especially if they're trying to, the only purpose they're trying to do. They're not even, to me at that point, my wife wasn't even trying to win the argument. She was just trying to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being candid. It was like the argument wasn't even why she used it. She just wanted to hurt me, so that's what she did. You know.
But it's all about everybody learning though. Like you said, like y'all wives, like they growing and learning, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these behaviors is learned behaviors. They don't even realize it, you know what I mean? Until you know what I mean, you bring it up, and then hopefully they are able to, you know what I mean, realize it. But a lot of these behaviors that we do, that they do, you know what I mean, they're learned behavior. So we gotta, you know what I mean, breaking that cycle, you know what I mean, and showing it's different. Like how we said, like I didn't grow up in a household like where my mother said I love you and father say I love you, but in my household we say I love you, I don't know how many times a day. You know what I mean? My daughter don't leave the house without saying I love you. My son, when he leave out the house, I drop him off. Hey, I love you, Dad. Have a great day. You know what I mean? That's just how we talk to one another. You know what I mean? But I didn't necessarily grow up in a household with something like, hey, have a great day. I love you. You know what I mean? See you. You know what I mean? See you later. Like, so we're changing that dynamic. So then as they have kids and stuff, that's going to be the norm in their household. You know what I mean? Because that's what we doing and seeing now. Like, I don't have no problem with giving my son a hug. You know what I mean? Like, but that's wasn't the norm for most men or black men, definitely growing up. So that's what we doing here. We changing that paradigm.
Yeah. Chef Dennis, what about you? The great Miss Esther, I know she's perfect, and you just the heathen in this relationship. But we'll go ahead and let you tell your version of the story.
Nah, I'm only six years in marriage, so we perfectly knew, and I can't share everything with her. Like Preston said, that because we knew, like, certain things that I did in my life, I talked to her, and like he said, yeah, she be bringing it up. Like, yo, nah, if I can't be honest and upfront with you, tell you my past, I ain't gonna bring it up no more. So right now, I don't really talk about my past, you know, because she bring it up every time she get upset, or you know what I mean. And you know, we don't argue, so. There's no argument in our house. And I told Ronnie this before. He said, "Oh, it's health." No, I don't entertain that. I'll be like, "Yo, listen, I don't want to talk about it right now. We talk about it later." You know what I'm saying?
But later never happens.
No, it does. It does. She don't let it. Oh, she don't let it go. Like, she just don't. Nah. I tell her, look, we ain't gonna talk about this right now. We'll talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? I can see she upset. I see she kind of mad. I'm like, sometimes when you mad, you can't hear the other person.
Yeah,
that's a fact, bro. That's not an opinion. That's a real fact. When you upset and it's an argument, and they start and the person start yelling, they not listening. They want to get their point across. They just want to get how they feel at that moment out, and they not really listening. They're not paying attention, because it's supposed to be a conversation, but it's an argument. And so, you know, I don't really argue. I don't argue with people. I just be like, all right, I walk away. I know I ain't a punk. I know I ain't a coward. I just walk away, because guess what? I know I'm a human. I can be emotionally affected by my actions and my feelings. So I just walk away sometimes. Most of the time, I said sometimes. Most of the time I walk away. I was like, all right, man, whatever. I'm not giving you the energy, the time. So, you know, I created a lot of safe space for myself. Let's hit. So as y'all can see, I just did a podcast with my own, and I'm here with you guys because this is what I do. You know, on a regular, I'll just talk to people and trying to create a good, you know, atmosphere. I'm very vulnerable, and that doesn't mean that I'm weak. It's that I'm open.
I'm sorry. Did you say you're very vulnerable? Is that what you said?
Yes.
My bad. All right. I thought okay. Just wanted to make sure
that's why you look. Hey, Coach and Maddie, he ain't tell y'all he my new best friend. I'm coming to take y'all boy away.
Hey.
All right,
Nah,
yeah,
Coach,
they
I'm
don't give a shit.
You'll say give him a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
that's
You'll
like
send him back.
yeah, exactly. You want to take
Hey.
away their pain in the ass? They not. You
Yeah.
ain't.
Hey,
Yeah.
Coach, don't worry. Hey,
Yeah.
look, I went to the family house. Oh boy, he was like, he just threw me under the bus. He was like, "Oh, they just treating you all so better than me." I was like, "Oh, but I'm just a guest. Don't beat me up like that."
Mhm.
He just throw me.
Yeah, my father-in-law act like he wanted Chef Dennis to marry his daughter. That's how he was treating him. I was like, yo, I've been cooking for this family for 30 years. They like, oh, you a real chef. Like, I'm not, like, what? They just throwing, those subliminal shots left and right. I'm just catching them Jones. That's probably why I shoot them strays, Funny Man Green. Come to my in-laws' house. I catch strays the whole time I'm there. You know what I'm saying? As far as what's going on that, yeah, they treated him, gave him my seat, gave him my banana pudding, everything. Like they was over there giant treating this man like he was David himself coming in from slaying alive. And I was the king that sent I was Saul who sent them out there. Like I'm like, yo. But anyway, we're gonna get off of that topic. We're gonna get off of that, but I mean, it was just something I just wanted to discuss and see what how y'all guys feel and what's going on and creating your own safe space. I mean, creating your safe space is important. I do believe that creating that safe space in a relationship and even creating several safe spaces. Because I do got one more question. So what do y'all do to protect your safe space? What is some of the things that you maybe learned that, okay, for me, I can't do this type situation because I've learned that that ain't where it is for me. Like for me, instantly, my safe space is definitely A, this podcast, B, but the podcast I do this podcast and I talk to people and I've had people attack me, you know what I'm saying? Say, oh, you're not really that guy, you're not this, you're not that. And I'm like, like, first of all, I'm never asking anybody to believe me. Believe the message. You know what I'm saying? Believe the message that we're on here that mental health is real. That mental health is something that we as men need to talk about, that taking care of our family, being better people and growing in God is something that we all need to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if I'm on another podcast telling a joke or talking about the subjects on there, that's who I am. I'm still who I am. I'm still a person. But yeah, I still want the best for everybody who comes across my path. I still want the best. The people who know me, like Chef Dennis, we've met each other in time and this, that, and other. Even though I make jokes about the things, it's all good. Chef Dennis, I know you got to get to work in the morning. You finally going back to work. I appreciate you for hanging out with us. We just gonna watch a few clips and we're gonna get out of here soon too. But you got to go ahead and roll. It's cool, man.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
Yep. You know what? I see you.
Send everybody your shout outs real quick about where they can watch you and catch you at real quick.
Oh yeah, you can catch me from the Battle to the Glory on YouTube. You catch me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 6:30. I have a bunch of guests coming on time for time. It's a great message, great story, great content. That's Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. sharp. From the Battle to the Glory, that's YouTube. All right. You can also do at Chef Dennis -32. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon.
I'll let you later. Appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us, brother.
Talking to you.
Yeah, give Miss Esther my love, man.
All right, I will. Day. All right, bro.
So I've learned that I gotta be secure in who I am and what I'm doing. Like, I don't have to convince nobody anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you don't believe me. You go about your damn day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like anybody. I mean, I've said this before. You clicked on me. Like, if you don't like it or you don't want to, then don't click on me. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do what I do, have fun and enjoy enjoy what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy going on the podcast with LA Josh Preston on Thursday nights and hanging out and frying people. I love it. Like, that is my natural me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on being this good guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but believe the message. Believe the message in mental health. Believe the things that we talk about of addiction. Believe all those things. So, you know, that's what I've had to really do to secure myself in who I am. Is one, you have to really have that confidence in who you are and where you're going. So, you know, and also, like I said, I talk about these things for me personally. I talk about these things to take the strength, to take it so that people can't use it against me and I'm no longer weak in those things. I can talk about my weaknesses. I can talk about them freely. And because I've learned how to deal with them. I've learned how to be a better person. I've learned how to go here and do that. So that's just how I feel. So how do you protect your safe space? We'll go with Matty Ice and then finish up with Josh.
Well, I think I protect my safe space, like, you know what I mean? So I don't share it with everybody. So I don't let certain type of energy into my safe space. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just it. You know what I mean? Because everybody, you can't be, I don't feel like you can be open or vulnerable with everybody. You do have to protect some things, you know what I mean? Some people do feel more comfortable, you know what I mean, sharing all of their business, you know what I mean, with the world. I talk about some things on the podcast, but still to this day, I'm still not comfortable with sharing everything, you know what I mean, on the podcast or whatever. So I protect my safe space, you know what I mean, by not bringing everybody into my safe place. Like I sometimes I feel like everybody don't need to know your business, you know what I mean? But if you're having a one-on-one with somebody and you trying to tell them something that you've been through to help them with something they going through, you know what I mean, that's different, you know what I mean? So again, you know what I mean, you don't bring everybody into your household, you know what I mean? That's why some people, you know what I mean, like I take it like as far as like your relationship, you know what I mean? Sometimes people bring too many people into their relationship about what's going on in their household. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's not a good thing, because it just depends on who that person is that you telling your business to and getting advice from. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to protect yourself by not letting that negativity through your door.
All right, Coach.
Yeah, man, you always gotta have especially your individual safe space. I mean, I think that you should always protect that, because you know what I'm saying. That's more of a mind reset, right? You know what I mean? Between you and yourself. The other safe space, like we were talking about with, you know what I'm saying, wives or friends. I think the way you protect it is utilize it, right? You know what I mean? And use it, because if you don't use it, it's no longer going to be a safe space. You know what I mean? So I think we forget to utilize what we got. You know what I mean? And if we target that, you know what I'm saying, our personalized safe space plus the one that we got external, and actually utilize both, that's how you protect it. So that's where I am with that.
Go LA, finish it up.
Yeah, well, I agree with everything both of y'all said. The way I protect myself is that I also learn who am I talking to. I also learn about them also, because it seems like it's a two-way street, because as soon as you start being vulnerable, here they come with their vulnerability too. So sometimes you gotta handle that. And I, especially with my wife, with protect, I know how I protect myself is that I don't talk about her past as well. Because when we actually sat down and talked about it, she said, yeah, you don't want me talking about the stuff you did. Well, I don't want you talking about the stuff that I did in my past. So I had to learn to learn from other people, like, hey, they don't want to be talked about their past just like I don't. You know, so it's sometimes I had to feel like, to protect myself, I had to also think that it's this situation may be me, that I'm talking about, but I also got to realize that they're also maybe going through some stuff as well. So I got to also worry about what they're going
You got to
through.
create a safe place for them as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That so it's like protecting both of us when we start talking. So I know my wife knows not to bring the past about me. Now I know not to bring up the past about her as well. So, and also stop talk. You also got to realize who you're talking to as well, because like Coach, you can't tell everybody your business because they will go out and run their freaking mouth. So I also protect myself, also listening when other people talk about their problems. I also be like, okay, I know I can't say anything about to this person or that person. So sometimes protecting yourself is also protecting others as well. So that's how I feel. Like it's like I know I can talk to this person because of the history we have, and also I know I not to talk about this person because you just said something about being whatever and you don't like that and stuff, and I'm that type of person, so I know keep away from you, so that's the way I do it.
All right. Okay. All right. I got a couple of reels we're gonna watch real quick, and then we get the show off. I'll be honest with you. I didn't get to vet these reels like I normally do because I couldn't get them up at first, so I just put a couple up there, and we'll just see talk about what it says. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get it going.
Need to provide safety for you, but you cannot reciprocate it for me. I deserve to feel safe too. A number of black men internally, their internal world is not safe. And yet you want me to provide you with safety that I don't even know for myself. When I say to you that you've harmed me, you give me this rigmarole, that's not safe. When I tell you I'm tired, you get so wrapped up in your responses that you don't even give me the space to be fucking tired. That's not safe. I say to you that I don't feel connected to you. I say to you that you are not meeting my emotional needs. I say to you that I do not feel the way that you talk to me is uplifting, and you continue to do it. That's not safe. But yet you want me to continue to go out in this world and come back and do all of this stuff. You don't want me. You want your idea of me. And if I don't fit that idea, you begin rejecting me. That's not safe. You want me to.
All right. So that was a gentleman, I guess, expressing his love or want for a safe place. I'm not gonna lie. When I watched that clip, I actually felt similar like that at one point in time in my relationship and with my wife. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't feel like I was given a safe place. So, we definitely worked that out and had that conversation. But I think it's a place that a lot of people in relationships do go through. You know what I'm saying? Do go through, especially even in the beginning. But I do feel like a lot of times in a relationship, the man, when it comes to creating a safe space, it's more in our nature to create a safe place for our wife and then it is for our wife to create a safe space for us. You know what I'm saying? And I do feel that is something that us as men need to definitely communicate and talk about and discuss in our relationships, and even with sometimes even with our friends, even with our family. You know what I'm saying? It's a discussion that sometimes we need to have. So that's what I got to say about it. LA, what you think about it?
See, I would like to give an example of when I say I need to protect other people from myself. You see, Molly just came in here. See, Molly, let's give Molly an example. There are some things I know I can't talk to Molly about. That's why, and that's why I'm protecting my space by not talking about some things with Molly. As he says, like right now, Chow Bao, where you at? What does Chow Bao has anything to do with this podcast? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it has nothing at all, but they got me on it. But see, Molly is messing with me. So that's why I am protecting my shield, and it's just bouncing off of me. with Molly. But that's something that I was talking about. You got to understand what other people are about as well. That way you can actually prepare yourself and help protect you more. So like if I didn't know who Molly was, I've probably been saying some things now. But I know who he is and I protect myself from him. So that's why it's okay with that. So that's how I'm in peace with myself.
Okay, all right. I don't feel like that answered the question, but we'll go ahead and go.
I'm sorry, but that's what I felt. Man. Even with that dude,
man, you just got triggered that quickly by Molly, man. Molly, you know, he does that to you. I'm sorry but Molly does not create a safe space for you.
That's the protection of the safe space. And he was just talking about what we were just talking about, like for the past like hour or so, just being rejected and about the. What he said was just something that we were just talking about, you know, for the past hour. So it's not really nothing to add without saying the same thing that we've been talking about for the past hour. So that's why I wanted to just say something different.
All right. Matty Ice, you still go ahead and say something.
Yeah, no. He was speaking. He was speaking how he felt. He was speaking his truth. You know what I mean? About that safe space and how I guess sometimes the person whoever he was talking to wasn't understanding who he was. They just was looking at the idea of who they wanted him to be without, you know what I mean, connecting with him, you know what I mean, and trying to figure out his needs, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, sometimes women want you to, you know, attend to all of their needs, but they don't attend to your needs. But you know what I mean, it got to be on both hands, you know what I mean? A man needs a woman to also attend to his needs and feelings as well, you know what I mean? And that creates that balance and creates that place where you could feel safe, you know what I mean, coming to your partner and telling them something. But if you don't feel like you can speak with them without them judging you, you know what I mean, it's not a safe place, you know what I mean, because you don't want to be judged, you know what I mean. Your home should be the one place you can come without being judged.
All right, Coach.
Yeah, I agree with what he said and everything. I don't necessarily agree with you with what you said about with wives not giving us that safe place. I think that they do. I think we don't utilize it. I believe that they could use it against us and so forth and all that. But originally, I do believe that a female is looking for the vulnerability of a male, right? You know what I mean? And not just naturally, but we naturally don't give that vulnerability up.
Well, I'm speaking on how he was speaking of his wife. All women not the same.
Yeah, agree.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Okay. We said David Green said the video was gave Tyler Perry vibes. Okay. All right, I got one more we'll watch and let's see what this one is about. Like I said, I didn't get to vet it. So we'll see.
Fatherhood is very important, and this is what we have to be careful of too as men, especially those of us who didn't grow up with the fathers that we desire to have. You'll find yourself trying to be someone who could never exist. And what I mean by that is, if I could have given my son 30 hours a day, I would have. I was living from the father wound more so than living from a healed heart. When I started living from a healed heart, I still gave my son everything that I could, but when I couldn't, there was no more misplaced guilt. And a lot of good men, we go way above and beyond, and we wonder why we're worn out, because we're not leaving enough in the cup for ourselves. Health-wise, why don't men, regardless of ethnicity, really like going to the doctors? If my entire existence is based on doing and performance-based, why would I want to live longer just to do that?
Sheesh.
Fatherhood is very important. And this is what we
well, I don't know if that was really on the topic, but yeah, I think I'll pull up another video. Let's see what this one is right here. Once again, I don't know. Well, if this one don't go on the topic, we're just in the show. Don't worry about it. All right, like I said, I'll make sure I get it fixed next week. You know, I had a couple weeks off, so there we go. Let's unmute it.
Take accountability, Beast.
I just said it, man.
Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place.
Spend so much time on self-improvement that you have no time to criticize others.
The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
If you're afraid of everybody, you're enemy to yourself.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions.
I didn't fail, I fell. And as long as I get up, I win.
If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start.
The fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working.
Today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. But the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening.
Your haters are out there holding their breath, waiting for you to fail. Make sure they suffocate.
What is the best?
All right, so I know I was going with that one. And that video was just like, do you have like a mantra or something that you say to yourself when you're going through difficult times that creates that safe place for you? Do you have that? You know, that saying? And if I had vetted it before, I would have said that beforehand. But yeah, do you have that place when you're in your safe place that you say to yourself, or that mantra or saying or whatever? You know, lately for me, like I've always said, is that I don't get to, you know, I got to. Hold on. Best message online. I don't even know what that means. Oh, beta, I guess. All right. So, you know, I don't you know, I don't get, you know, I got to go. I don't got to go to work. I get to go to work. You know what I'm saying? I don't, and you know, I don't got to solve this problem. I get to solve this problem, and it's just changing that mindset of how you are. Do y'all have any words of wisdom or anything that you go to help you, you know, create that safe space for yourself, Matty Ice?
Oh yeah, it's something similar to that, man. Like it's just trying to reframe it when you're going through something, man. Like if something's not quite going my way, a lot of times I say, man, everything work out in my favor. I don't know how, but somehow it's gonna work out in my favor, and you know what I mean, and just, you know what I mean, push through it. I just try to reframe stuff, man, and try to, you know what I mean, like they say, find the silver lining. Sometimes you can't see it, sometimes you don't need to see it, but you know what I mean, I just say, man, hey, this gonna work out in my favor, you know what I mean, and just keep moving forward. And it usually does, you know what I mean, because when you dwell on something or keep thinking something's not working right, or you know what I mean, you just kind of find yourself wanting to be upset or mad at the situation. It doesn't help, you know what I mean. So I always try to find some way to reframe it, you know what I mean, and move forward. And like you said, sometimes that may be taking a moment of silence, you know what I mean, to step away from it for a minute.
All right. Molly, David Green said, never let anyone control your happiness. That's my daily thought. There you go, for sure.
Yeah, true that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Coach, what about you?
I mean, I think I always remind myself that, you know what I'm saying, it's always worse when you inside the storm. Never before the storm or after the storm. You know what I mean? So if you're going through a storm, understand that that's as worse as it's going to get. That moment right then and there.
Yeah, most storms are temporary.
Yep.
For sure, for sure. Molly says, stay positive and thankful for what you have on a daily basis, because things could always be worse. Absolutely. All right. Well, Josh, I'm gonna let you finish us all. No, I'm gonna let you be the last one to say your comment. And go ahead and what's your mantra or thing that you say?
Well, sometimes I say is better to be alive than the alternative. That's always my thing. I always feel like, hey, someone's always got it worse. And if you don't think so, just Google it and you'll find out people got a lot worse than you have. So I've always been blessed of what I have. I mean, job, wife, kids, car, all that stuff I have, and I'm very blessed to have it, and there's people that just have it worse than you. And if you don't believe me, like I say, Google it. Sometimes I really do believe that sometimes when we are in a situation, we think this situation only we're in that situation, but it's not. There's other people in that situation, and sometimes just Googling it and figuring out how they handle it, it's like, you know what, maybe I should start doing that. And then sometimes you figure out, hey, what I did wasn't the right way, but how they did it was. So I started doing it that way, and you'll find your happiness sooner or later. Just put it like that.
Absolutely. And Carl Carter said here, just believe in yourself. That's all you can do. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and end this show. I appreciate y'all joining us this week, coming hanging out with us and having a good time. Like I said, tomorrow I'll probably broadcast from the Kendrick Lamar concert, let y'all know I'm having a good time with my beautiful daughters. We go out and enjoy the night and just have a great day. I thank y'all for joining us. Next week we'll have the ladies. We'll talk about the same topics as far as building a safe place for yourself. What does it look like for them, and what does it look like for them building in a relationship, and have that conversational talk. Make sure you give my man a follow, LA Josh Preston. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you, and see you at one more time.
Yeah, I'm LA Josh Preston. I'm a comedian out of Roanoke, Virginia. I produce the Real Funny comedy show. You can follow that on the Real Funny on Facebook. I run shows here in Roanoke, and I also do comedy shows all across pretty much the East Coast. I do the podcast. It's right there. I do that on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. People are more than welcome to be on the show and tune in. Most of the stuff we talk about, we get stuff off our chest and stuff. And my podcast is a place where you can just talk about anything and everything. So whatever you got on your mind, go ahead and talk about it. Get it out there, because I feel like if people just get it out there, they just feel better. And I just hope my podcast is doing that.
All right, no problem. And thank you for joining us, LA. Also, shout out to Chef Dennis for joining us today as we had this conversation about creating a safe space. And, we definitely enjoyed having y'all there. Check y'all out on all the different platforms. Make sure you see your boy Molly tomorrow on the Althea McFarlane show, which is the Morning Mac show, which you can catch that Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. on all her sites. And let's see here, we got one more shout out to Rodney Glover for agreeing to come to my show in Silver Spring, Maryland, at Silver Springs Restaurant, 9:00 Saturday, June 21st. You can catch our boy David Funny Man Green down there as well. And thank y'all for hanging out with us. And that made my mental scale a 10. So there we go. I'm glad I could do that. Thank you for hanging out with us. God bless. Good night.